Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by, and thanks for all your thoughts. The cat's back. I haven't been out here since Monday. I have a hell of a lot to do. I'll try and film some clips as I go along today, and put something together later today when I've sort of done out here. Well, we'll see where we go from there. Okay, a bit of a change of plan. While I've been away, I've got an outbreak of mealybugs. They're all over the place. They're on the blooms, they're on the growing tips. Far more than I can deal with individually or anything like that. You know, you turn your back for a few minutes and things really take off. Lack of attention on my part, fair enough. But so the plan for today is to start watering and feeding the pots, and then once I've watered and fed the pots, they're going to get a real heavy duty spray with the Bravado concentrate. I can mix it up in the big sprayer, which has got a lance, and then just spread them out on the floor and give them a good spray top to bottom, underside of the leaves, and a good soak into the top of the pot to get into the roots as best as possible, and do that as I go. Filming as I go is going to be a nuisance, so I probably won't film much. The only thing really that's changed out here is the Oncidium varicosum's opened up. That's still one of my favourite blooms. That was a nice greeting this morning, along with the other one at the window. Yeah, so that's the only new bloom. It's more like what's going over rather than what's here. The Miltonia sunset's well on its way now to fading. The Sherry Baby tucked up the back is doing okay, although the blooms have got mealybugs on them. You know, they've just got going out here while I haven't been here for so long. I suspect there's some scale that have managed to get going a little bit as well on some of the plants. Not many, there is a little bit of scale around, but not a lot. Yeah, so I'll just have to crack on with it basically and do as much as I can today, and the pots are just so dry. It's the mounts I'm worried about more than anything. We've just had dull weather. I think I've got away with it. I don't think there's nothing dead out here as far as I can see. But there could be a little bit of setback in places with it's the things like the really long cane dendrobiums that are still pushing in active growth. You know, not getting water and some feed on a regular basis can actually slow them down. It can even trigger the terminal leaf on some of those canes. So anyway, I'll just have to crack on and do as much as I can today, and what I don't get done today I'll have to finish tomorrow. The most important thing is to get the mounts done, and although it might sound a bit drastic, they're not actually going to get watered and fed. I'm going to use the Bravado mix to actually hydrate them so that they get a real good shed load in through the roots. I've never done that before. I hope it doesn't do any damage, but you know, the way into the plant is through the roots. I know there's an amount absorbed through the leaves, but you know, in the past that hasn't worked as well as perhaps it should. So I'm just going to, you know, water those effectively with the liquid and give them a good spray as well. That means the whole plant will get that stuff in it, and I mean it's supposed to last quite a few weeks. So the idea being that, you know, I kill what's there with the surface spray, and then anything that hatches out later, the plant should be sufficiently full of the stuff that, you know, if they take a bite out of it, they should be doomed. So that's the plan, and I'll just have to crack on with it and get back to some sort of normality once I've got everything watered and sprayed, and you know, we'll go from there. And yeah, I think that's the best idea for today, is to just, well, do something and do as much as I can. Unfortunately, it's going to be a warm day. This is the first bit of sunshine we've had. So it's been very dull and cool in here. So you know, hopefully things haven't totally dehydrated. I don't see anything in dire straits or anything like that, but There's just a lot of mealybugs. It's out of the corner of my eye, I just keep seeing them, you know, wherever I look. And if they get on the young new growths, even if they don't stop that growth completely, they leave marks on the leaves, which doesn't necessarily harm the plant, but it does, you know, it does provide an entrance for infections. And also, if ever I think about showing a plant, you know, they get knocked down if they've got marks on the leaves due to bug damage. You know, it's just one of the things they look for. It's not a huge big deal, like they don't completely deduct so many plants that, you know, it's not worth putting it in, but it does take the edge off them, you know. So I'll crack on and see what I can get done. This is going quite well, because it suddenly dawned on me, if I've got a solution to pour over the roots, why don't I put the whole plant in the solution? So with the smaller mounts, the whole thing's going in there. So that does the mount, the roots, the moss and the plant. Can't get better coverage than that. So you know, the spray could miss parts of the mount and things like that, so that's what I'm doing. As I'm going, I'm rearranging some plants as well. This rack here is in the full force of this large circulating fan, which has a dramatic drying effect and possibly even an overcooling effect because of the closeness of these plants. I know it oscillates, but nonetheless, what I've done is the Tolumnias, which used to live round this side, are now going to go up on that wire. Yeah, so they've still got the light, so they're going to live there now, which means all the other plants that were the other side of that rack can now go along here, so they don't get the full blast of that fan but still get the benefit of the air movement. So yeah, I'm sort of cracking on with this. You know, things like the Tolumnias, the whole lot's going in the solution. So that's the mount, the plant, the roots, the moss. The whole thing is just getting dunked and sloshed around. Get any air bubbles out, make sure it gets in there. I've done the same with the mounted Phalaenopsis. And at the moment, that's as far as I've got, because I've still got some smaller ones to do up here where the whole plant can go in, but then it's on to the bigger stuff. Well, I can't get the plant in the solution, so those will have to be done with the spray, but they can be done individually, and just, you know, I'll make sure that the whole mount gets done, including the back of the mount, the bit that normally wouldn't get any water. So I'll make sure I get absolute coverage, and we'll see where we go from there. As I say, that's about the best I can do. And it's just a matter of pushing on now and getting round. If I get the mounts done and get them out of the way, and then vacate the premises for a while in case there's any drips, I don't really want them on me. And then start on the pots. I don't really want to put the pots in the solution, although it will be a flipping good idea. But the problem is all the bark will float out. It does float. Excuse me. So I'll have to go back to the original idea of, you know, sort of pouring it through the pots and then, you know, spraying the plants, because a lot of the plants are just too big, they won't go in there. So we'll carry on doing this until I get fed up or run out of time or whatever, then we'll go from there. Quick update on the car situation, because I've obviously been missing a while. The old car was put up for auction to the salvage companies and they bid on it. So the the company that bought it are north of Manchester. Oh dear, I can't believe how you're still going to make money on that. Mind you, car parts, second-hand car parts make quite a bit nowadays. But the guy phoned me up yesterday and I arranged for him to come Saturday, which is when the MOT runs out. That's the point where it's got to come off the public road and becomes a serious problem. And he's phoned me up today and apologised sincerely, but his drivers have been to London every day this week, or will have been to London every day this week, and basically they've said they're not working at the weekend. They need some time off to recover, which is understandable, I suppose. Manchester to London every day, long trip, you know. So the earliest they can get here is Monday, so I'm going to have to go and talk very, very nicely to one of my neighbours that's got a driveway and ask if they don't mind us pushing my car onto their driveway until Monday morning when it can be collected. Now obviously that frees up parking outside of my house, so they'll still have somewhere to park, just, you know, not on their drive. And the neighbours either side have both got more than one car. I've got a feeling one lot's on holiday though. So still not completely sorted, but as soon as it's gone, which is now Monday morning apparently, I can then get over and get my other car and get the insurance and everything sorted out, and I'll be mobile again. It does leave a problem. I've got to get to my Orchid Society meeting, what's today? Thursday. Tomorrow evening, Friday evening. If the worst comes to the worst, I can get a bus and it stops right outside. But there is a guy who lives up the end of the road that also goes to the Orchid Society. So again, I'm going to go and talk nicely and see if I can scrounge a lift and make life a lot easier. And we'll go from there. So I'll leave it at that for today. I'm just going to plod away doing the you know, bug kill stuff and see how far I get. What I don't finish today, I'll finish tomorrow. Feeling a lot better in myself to do stuff now. I've done nothing all week but sit around staring at the window in the back garden. Still, we're over that now, and I'll see you next time.